This show can't keep getting away with it. 2025 just started, and we already have plot twists of the year. And the craziest thing is I think the only show that's has the potential to top that book reveal is probably this anime in question. Because it probably will. This is probably not the last big bombshell. But as someone who just came off of the Apothecary Diaries Season 1, one of the things I really enjoyed about that show was how all the smaller events you think are just smaller self-contained events end up connecting to a much larger picture. That's a formula that this show uses as well, and I love the fact that by eliminating sets of characters, it doesn't eliminate their story because they're connected to a bigger picture, but most importantly, connections they've had prior can end up now becoming bigger. And the craziest thing about Beni is that he said, give me like however long it was, and he's going to write a letter, and that letter was going to be enough to preserve something. But how could he write research, or in this case, we were preserving Ochi's book? But how are you going to translate an entire book into a letter? That doesn't make sense, right? And the idea that the letter that he ended up dropping, we now know who it went to. It went to this priest who we really didn't see a lot of. Grabowski, I think his name was, or in that area, I'm pretty sure. We saw him a little bit. They didn't really have the friendliest relation, and he picked up a book at one point, I remember. And now we learned that, you know, he read a bit, and he's like, oh yeah, it just kind of was a bunch of codes. I didn't think much of him. The idea that the beggars, man, this is what I love about this show. The way the beggars connected to a bigger picture, that even though yes he was helping them, it was so much bigger. Having a page per head, wear a hat till the hair grows back, I'm page 1. The person who wrote this manga is a goddamn genius. I'm telling you, this is, when you get into anime, this is the type of anime that should be recommended as some of the best that gets you hooked on the medium and drooling for more. Full live reactions over on Patreon. See my mind break in real time over there exclusively. The beggar shit is insane. We got this emotional stuff with Nowak, man. The fact that Yolenta's out there, she's gonna come back at some point. The fact that my boy, this dude has done so much wrong to us, but to see him break down, to see the Good Father of the Year award in the past, oh my goodness. But I gotta talk about the head shit first. I knew they weren't gonna kill him down there, but even I was a little spooked for his safety when he was approaching. The idea that they shave their heads and there's tattooed words. The idea that he set it up that if I don't come here for at least a month, go to this church and seek out this person. And the fact that he left the letter, which was a poem, which, you know, he mentioned that the name of the poet before, back, I don't know, 6-7 episodes ago, I forget how long. But the idea that it then relates as like here's an offering. And I love the idea too, because I'm not sure if Beni knew for sure this guy would go this direction, but the idea that, you know, he already has this internal conflict within himself that, hey, I'm reading poetry from someone 1,500 years ago. Should the man who just got burned at the stake also, well, actually he got hung, but, you know, my point stands. But then he's like, well, no, he's a heretic. And the idea that we ended with these two dying, with them saying that, hey, like, his book was what was going to live on. The fact that he set this up to have this safety net, which would mean that he, prior or earlier than we initially thought, because it really felt like he was going to preserve Ochi's book a lot later than apparently it was, because if he had time to tattoo on all of these men's head pages from Ochi's book, because that's the thing he wanted, because obviously he wasn't going to put his own research on these people's heads, right? Because that's his thing, like, either he lives and this sees the light of day, or he dies and his research goes with him. But something he was okay with preserving was apparently Ochi's book, because it's more, there's less nuances to it, and it's more easy to digest by the general people. And the idea of having each person's head, and it's on a place that if they ever got kidnapped or something, it's not going to just randomly spread, right? Because there's hair covering it all up. If he put it on his back or something, well, there would have been more space to work with. It would have been more easy to be like, what the hell is that? The dude's a genius. I really didn't think there was going to be a legacy bigger than Raffles, because I really felt like, up until even the end of last episode, the character that really made everything happen was a boy. That it really was. But seeing what we just did with this reveal of the beggars, Beni has now stolen the crown. And for the love of God, I'm already loving this man. I had no connection to this priest really prior. Like, if anything, I just thought he was another religious figurehead. Stop killing now. Now, Noak's dying for sure, I think. But early on, if you've been watching these videos since the beginning, I originally did state that I expected at some point this insane executioner would probably join up on our side to some degree. And I think we're at the point where Yolento's gonna send a message, which is gonna reinvigorate him, and something's gonna happen here. And I do think he'll die, but damn, man. The deeper this episode go, like, they are delivering 10 out of 10s every single freaking week. And the fact that people sleep on this, man. You sleep on greatness. So, I'm not gonna excuse this man's actions. I've said plenty of harsh things about him. The one thing I can truly, truly believe is that he loves his daughter. And to get a 10-year flashback, and I never expected to see this. This is a man who firmly is about God, and like, you know, obviously their view of God is twisted as hell, but from, you know, he believes the bullshit he preaches. And the idea that it's such a simple moment, got his daughter gloves, says, yes, you know, I got him, in God we trust, hallelujah, praise Jesus, all that fun nonsense. The gloves come in, they don't fit her because they're too big, and she has like a little temper tantrum. Kids, am I right? You know, they freak out over the littlest shit. And he freaks out, basically saying that no matter what, you never disrespect God, and then he storms out. But then he has this like conflicting moment, which I never expected. As a father, I should comfort a crying child, but as a man of God, I have that stern fist and make sure you worship God. And then he goes back in to, you know, apologize, and then she immediately apologizes. And it's just like, it's such a great moment for his character, because up until that flashback, I would have, with my full chest said, no matter who it is, if you disrespect God or you don't follow the rules that he believes in, doesn't matter who you are, he would follow through to make sure. After that, no, there was a soft spot for her. And because of that soft spot, it's foreshadowing for me that when she makes contact again, which she could be fearful to do because she knows her father's job, but at this point she has no allies, right? Like it's her one final chance. And I think given that she truly has loved him up to that point, she is going to make contact. And that's going to be her connection. Yolenta, Noak, as well as Grabowski. These three could make for really engaging characters. And I love how it all connects. It's just... This is going to be a top 10 anime for me. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's all I'm saying. The year just started, though. We still have, like, what, 9 more episodes of this one? They're gonna top it, I know, but the year just started and they're already dropping the biggest plot twist I think I can receive. Brilliant shit. Your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Renelli, Laura Belle, Tony, Brian Quill, Manic Mike 333, Samuel Soliday, McFlurry, it's a good name. And we also have Arya Hakushi. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.